Hello everyone and welcome back to another tactics video. Obviously today's is a little later. I've had some personal stuff I'm just dealing with the past few days over the weekends, and it's led to my recording schedule being a little bit screwed up here and there. But again, the video's out today. I just took some little longer. It's just stuff going on, and yeah. Life is life, things happening, and it's just been stuff's getting in the way, and I just didn't have the mental capacity to get my recordings done. And yeah, I have a brand new list of a gajillion tactics right here for me. Your requests have been coming in like crazy. I've had loads, and we're going through them all. But this is one that I helped design with a buddy of mine, Gerb. His official name is Gerbtheking on Twitch. I'll be sure to link his file and everything down below, as well as he has a Twitter on top of that if you guys want to start looking and interacting with some of the stuff. He's an amazing Belgian football fan, awesome dude, just incredible. He's a part of our Hall of FM network save as well, and I highly recommend checking out some of his stuff. I'm not sure if he's streaming at the moment, but I know he will probably be again sometime soon. But yeah, he's awesome, and I highly recommend you check this out. He was asked me for help on this with his gank side, and so we built this out and kind of made some different versions of it. I've come up with 3 versions I want to show you guys. I tested each version with all 3 teams that we did the test with, and then I just picked the best finish out of all 3 tests, just so you could see. They all did pretty consistent, but it's more of I just figured with 3 variations, it's too long to go through 9 teams. So we're just going to go through 3, pick out the best of each. Figure that'd just be a lot easier for you guys. Cuts my time down, cuts your time down. Just a lot better. So, the idea of today's tactic is wide diamonds. You guys can probably already kind of see some diamond shapes being formed, but we'll talk about this as we go on and it moves on throughout the video. But that's the idea of today's. It's creating wide diamonds, one on the right, one on the left, as well as having central players helping assist. But we'll get into that in the next bit we talk tactics. So yeah, I hope you guys are excited. I know it's going to be a lot of fun, and let's go. Okay, everyone, so this is the thing. This is the tactic here. I wanted to add the roles this time, just because I felt it'd be really helpful to get a better understanding of where things are. As normally you don't always do the roles, but I think that might be a good idea. If it is and you prefer me to have the roles on the players, please do let me know. I'm happy to do that. It takes me 5 seconds. And if it's a nice little quality of life thing, I'm more than happy to do it for you guys so you can better understand what I'm doing with stuff. I also just feel like sometimes you don't always want it, but please let me know. I'm happy to make adjustments to help this out. If you guys want more in-game footage, real-life footage, things like that, just please let me know. I'm happy to make adjustments. We are working on to finding the best thing that you guys want and I want and making the best version of both, and that's what I want to do. But this is the tactic here. So it's a 3-2-2-1-2. Yeah, 3-2-2-1-2. That's what it is. Because we have our lines here, which we'll draw just to give you an idea. So we have this line. I don't want that. We'll do white. You have this line. We have this line. We have this line. This one. And this one. And those are our 3 lines that we have. So those are the 3 that we have to help create this tactic. Now, the big thing that I was mentioning is the wide diamonds, which is kind of the big thing I wanted to show and talk about. So those are created through these groups right here. So this is your 1 diamond over here, and then this is your other diamond over here. So yes, you did see the wide playmaker moves inside. So these are your 2 diamonds. You have this guy kind of in this area here. So in essence, the team should look kind of along the lines of this. Cool. I need to draw the line. I can't just do that. Nope, I want the actual line. So you can see these are the diamonds that are created by it. Obviously, we'll talk more in depth about things, but I just quickly wanted to show you guys. You don't need the Libero. The diamonds that are created by this shape. Obviously, then you also kind of get these Oh my god. Oh, guys, I'm killing it today with graphing the players. It creates this wonky freaking shape. You have like those triangles and these triangles here. So that's you in essence get stuff like that. I mean, that just looks terrible in the middle, but this is kind of the weird shape. Obviously, it should look a little nicer, but this is kind of what we do want to see and look for when we make this. These diamonds are created out here, which are kind of the big things of what the tactic is trying to do. And then you have in the back here a outlet for additional help, as well as a striker for additional help as well. And that's kind of the idea of how this is supposed to work in terms of where the players move and positions go to create the idea of it. And that's kind of the thinking, because I figured it'd be kind of cool to do that. It's also weird asymmetrical stuff. I don't love it, but people do. And you know what? I'm happy to try to make some wonky tactics for you lads. And this is kind of what I was thinking by doing so. I was creating these wide diamond shapes. Now, the thing is that obviously with this tactic, you have a lot of players moving into very different positions, which can be quite difficult in times, and it does leave it very open at the back. So it is an attack first tack. Now, I will say, it does score a boatload of goals. So you're going to score, but this is one you have to think about as I'm going to score more than you over I'm going to score 1 or 2. This is a attack first tactic, which I think most of mine tend to be. I also think this year, again, you can't go really defense first. You have to go attacking first. You can maybe play a little counterattack, but you can't do it for much more than maybe 30 minutes in a game, or you're going to get burned. I say this, had an Union Berlin save where I played defensive majority of the season. But besides that fact, just something I think that is a bit of a problem this year. But again, we've had some successful tactics, so you never know. But that, in essence, is kind of how it wants to work. So the goal also is to play out of defense with this tactic in build-up. This guy should hopefully come wider. He should tuck inside. He should go a little further. He'll kind of sit here, and he should kind of sit around here. He'll go wider, and he'll go wider as well. So this is kind of the build-up shape I want to see from this. So he's almost kind of like up here. So in essence, in the build-up, you should have it where you have this kind of one line here. Then you should have this line, and this line. So it should be a 1-3-3, 1-3-3-3 shape in your build-up. And that's kind of what I'm looking to have with it when the team does look to build up. So the goalkeeper gives it to the ball-playing defender, hopefully rolls it out. He then can go here, or here, or here. And those are his 3 options. Or even if he wants, he can go up there, or he can go here, or he can go here. Now, that's obviously a lot. Also, the target forward is an option as well. Again, there's lots and lots of options, and they're all kind of more direct passes. But that's one of the things that is kind of part of this, is that also the main tactic has more direct passing anyway. So my initial thought is, why are we going to go short if the idea is to go direct? So because of that, a lot of this is more if he gets it and then sprays it out to these areas, and then we attack from those spots, instead of it being pass it short, short, short. No, it's get it, we're going direct. We have direct options all around the pitch. And that's kind of the idea, is that because we are direct, we are playing out of defense to pull the opposition onto us. But once we do, it's boom, forward, 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 forward. It's a very direct style. We're not going to be like, oh, okay, no, it's go. So you can play this on attacking or positive. I found more success positive, but that's kind of the thinking behind it for me, is doing stuff like that. So that's obviously the build-up. That's pretty much it. Once the build-up has continued, and the ball's gone down either side, you're going to hopefully get these kind of shapes when we're around midfield. So I kind of want him up here, him in the middle. He's kind of over here. He's drifted wide. Wingback's attacking. Libero, ball-playing defenders kind of hanging here. So this is kind of the shape you want to see. Again, we have our triangles here. This guy's job is to get forward down the line. Come on, James. So these guys' jobs are to get forward like this. He's a wide center back on attack. He's going to try to cross on the byline. He's a wingback on attack, going to try to cross on the byline. There are attacking wingbacks in this system. The ball-playing defender should cover this space left by the wide center back attacking. The libero will stop here as he's going to hold position. So he's going to offer more of a passing outlet for these guys here, where we don't need the arrow, where he's going to offer more of a passing lane kind of here for these guys when they have possession. The ball-playing midfielder, not as much, obviously, but he should hopefully have these 2 options as well, which are getting it to the more creative players. We have obviously, if you also notice, it's the same thing on each side. As much as it's an asymmetrical tactic, I've built the same ideas into each, but they have slight variations when it comes to the front three. So this side has a playmaker inside, playmaker outside. The defender attacking is from the inside, the defender attacking is from the outside. And that's the idea with it, is to have the alternating sides of attack to make it more difficult. Now, this one here is a little more of play it into the target forward. He then lays it off to someone who then plays this guy in. Whereas this is, on this side, if we get it, it's to the wide playmaker who can play, who the wide playmaker gets the ball. His job is then to get it here and play passes into the advanced forward, into the other advanced playmaker, or into the shadow striker. Whereas this guy's job is to receive it off the target forward and go here or go in behind to the wide wingback. Wide playmaker can also go wide here. So it gives us a little more construction on the right side than the left, but the left side is usually going to be the more aggressive one. And one of the reasons is that because the wingback's already starting off in a higher position, he's going to get forwards more. So one of the big things is if he gets down here, I want my target forward be kind of this area because he's going to attract people, meaning I have runners on the back post now coming in. And that's kind of what I'm thinking with this is don't have the target forward out here, have him here where you can then have these guys making those late runs. Shadow Striker's going to play almost as another advanced forward with you. So that's kind of the idea with that, is giving them those opportunities to do those things like that in the final third. Whereas on this side, when we get into the final third, the Shadow Striker is going to be crashing the box. The wide playmaker is probably going to set up here. So you have much more of a chance for doing something like a cutback, or then the wide center back has a target forward because he's probably going to be worse at crossing. So because he's going to be worse at crossing, we've now given him a much better target to hit that into. Whereas this guy is probably going to be better at crossing, not as good of a target with these guys, but he should be able to find his target more. And that's my kind of thinking with it, helping the players with their abilities. Most wide center backs are not going to be elite crossers of the ball. Wingbacks will probably be. Wingbacks, we can give weaker targets in the air. Wide center back, you need to give a better target in the air to help deal with these things. So that's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of doing that to help these players out. Get the best out of your players, get the best out of the people on the pitch, and how do you help them in those ways? And that's my thought process with that. You guys think that's ludicrous? Please, I'd love suggestions on it, but that's what I'm kind of thinking there. But that, again, that's kind of the diamonds that we want to see and how the shape moves on from those diamonds in midfield. Now, in the final third, we can delete these. Final third, as I was saying, you kind of want these guys all three around the 6-yard box. That's kind of what I don't need these lines. Around this 6-yard box area. You want these guys to be out here, like this, so you almost have a line of 5 players. You want these guys to be in these areas here, the libero kind of like this, balling midfielder hanging around kind of here, ball playing defender like this. Now, there is a slight issue on the right side, where if you get the ball picked off kind of in this area, the ball midfielder is probably going to be aggressive and try to win it. Meaning if they bypass him, it kind of screwed. So that's just one thing there. But usually it's kind of, this is how I want it to look when we're in this final third, is you have a 1, 2, 2, 5 shape. So that's the goal of it. Obviously the superkeeper will be higher up, but that's kind of what we're looking for. These guys will be providing crosses. These guys are all your targets in the middle. They have cutback lanes. So you in essence have these lanes here for cutbacks each time. And then you also have a crossing opportunity into the middle there. So those are kind of the ideas of what I want to do with in the final third. Those are the ideas there. Then these guys have the opportunity to do stuff. But that's kind of what we're looking for. These guys are your key guys. His job is to overlap in the tactic. His is not to overlap, mostly because I don't want him to go every single time. He's going to go forwards, but just for the sake of defensively, I found that it could cause issues at times. So I didn't always have him overlap. I just felt that not having it on would be better. Plus, in tests, it kind of worked better without having it on. But I would suggest at times playing wide. I did find that playing down the left and the right sometimes did work, sometimes didn't. It's one of those things that was like kind of situational, but some things that could work and could assist you in the way you're looking to do it. Now, defensively, the team just kind of, it's, again, you're going to counter-press. It's so jumbled up and messy that it's really hyper-aggressive counter-pressing. The best one I can describe, the best defense I have managed to make with this team is the hyper-aggressive variant, which we will talk about now. The basic one kind of defends more in a just standard kind of high line. So you're here, you have a higher line. As you drop off, you'll have bodies stepping up, trying to win the ball and being aggressive there. And you'll mainly, when you sit in, so when this team sits in, just give you an idea of what it's going to look like. When they sit in, you'll get a shape like this. You'll get like a 5-2-2-1 shape, in essence, when they sit in deep and defend, and that's what you're going to see there. Otherwise, when they're in the final third, it's just going to be straight up counter pressing, just because of that. And the way I have one of them set up is this system, which is the hyper aggressive one, which is like a really aggressive press. So that's what I'm going to show you guys right now. So you need to get these in position a bit. I'm assuming they have a goal kick, is how I'm kind of making the assumption for this. So if they have a goal kick, boom. So these guys are heavy pressers. So he's going to go. He's going to kind of sit here and tackle harder, looking for the 6. If they have a fullback, he's going to go on him. He's going to go on the other fullback. And they're going to press them, but then track. So these guys are going to press that guy and then track with him all the way back here. He is going to be hyper-aggressive and step hard. So that his job is to step really hard as well. So they'll get really tight. And this guy's is to just be kind of there and do his thing. He'll be hyper-aggressive, trying to tackle, and he'll be aggressive in the middle as well. So you kind of have two guys that are buzzing around trying to make tackles. These guys will track any players running out wide. These guys will be aggressive, stepping to people on the edges of the boxes here, and then he'll kind of be that dude left in the middle to deal with any crosses. And that's kind of how they're going to look to defend those chances, as well as long balls over the top. He'll help cover them up. And that's kind of the idea with this tactic. It's definitely an interesting one. It's kind of neat and kind of cool. It's really wonky. I don't know how to put my finger on it, but I kind of enjoy making stuff for it. It's weird and interesting, and I like that about it. But let's get into some of the tests. We will see all three, and I will show you guys what we are working with. Okay, everyone, we are at the basic test. So this is the initial version of the tactic. This is just the 3-2-2-1-2 wide diamonds. This is pretty much exactly what Gerb and I came up with to start initially. So this was, I believe this is, I can't remember, sorry, I did a lot of tests. This is the one that I believe Gerb was using. I can double check. No, it's slightly different. This is slightly different to the one. I made a few adjustments. This is one that I made a few adjustments to. But, yeah, this is pretty much exactly what it's close to, with slight alterations to what Gerb was using. This is kind of my version of it. So this is what it is here. This is the wide diamonds one. Now, if you look, West Ham finished 5th, 72 points, which is really impressive. They were expected to finish 10th, so really nice to see. They were knocked out by AC Milan, my boys there. In what round was that? Come on, we see the tree. Knocked out here, 5-1 by Milan. So that's kind of unfortunate. They're quarterfinal by Fulham, and then 4th round by Stoke. Not the greatest in those, but still a really, really good showing. Finishing in 5th, Champions League place, 72 points. Not too far off United, which is lovely to see. Some crazy games against Chelsea. They beat Man City 2-0, United 4-2. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of an unfortunate run there. Beat Chelsea, though. Just trying to see if they had some big results. Beat United. Drew Chelsea. Anything kind of big. Lost to Arsenal. 6-1 over Forest is a pretty big result. 4-0 over Sheffield United. So some big results here and there, I'd say. Some definitely good ones. They had the 3rd most goals, the 10th best allowed. So not the greatest there. If we take a look at some, say, a recent victory against Burnley, we can try to see the passing network. So you can see kind of what it is. It's a little wonky there, but you can kind of see some of the diamonds. You can see this one a little better here on this side. This one a little janky, the 19, the Winning Midfielder is a little higher, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about in terms of it. These guys in the middle, the diamonds on either side there. That one's not as good. Maybe we can see if the one against United looks better. Yes. Much, a lot better there. Unfortunately, he's a little higher, but you can This one has the wide center back as the base of it, but you can see the diamond a lot better in that one. And then here you can see it as well, the advanced forward up top and him in the middle. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about in terms of the diamonds being created. It's not 100% perfect, but it's, you can see what I'm trying to do with it and how it has come out, which is pretty sweet to see. And you can see it did pretty well. You can even see some of the stats, lots and lots of opportunities being created, giving up lots of opportunities as well. We'll see how it looked against Everton on top of that. This one finally worked. You got the diamond you wanted there. This, definitely a wonky one. But you can see what I'm talking about, though. It creates them. Again, passing networks aren't always going to be perfect, but you can start to see some of the ideas that we did do. So that's kind of just a look at that one. Now, we'll talk about this. I'll go through each one, so it'll kind of be a quick recap of how the team did, and then talk about the tactic and roles for each. They'll all be their own separate download links below, as well as for Steam and Mediafire, as we always do on the channel. You guys have access to all of them. People make you pay for them. I don't want you guys to have to pay for any of these. It's a tactic. It's free. It's all fun. We don't have to pay. But I will say, though, we are getting close to the first level. We are getting close. I mean, 1,000 subscribers would be amazing. We're just about 300 off, I think. We're really close to 700, which would be awesome to hit. But then also, we are close to getting enough watch hours, which means I can then start having you guys subscribe and like do paid subscriptions and stuff. With that, paid subscriptions, I will be giving out things like the save files for these, as well as all tactic variants or things like that if you guys want them, just so you can try out all the versions and see all the save files and all those fun things like that. But yeah, you guys have access to all that stuff, and you'll be able to do all of it and have all your fun that you want and all of that. So yeah, those things that we're going to be doing in the future, so I hope you guys are looking forward to it. But it is a custom tactical style with a sweeper keeper on support, no additional instructions. The right center back is a wide center back on attack with shoot less often. Middle center back is ball-playing defender on defend with no additional instructions. The left center back is a libero on defend with dribble more and stay wider. The right defensive midfielder is a ball-winning midfielder on defend with the instruction to pass it shorter. The left wingback is a wingback on attack with stay wider. The right mid is a wide playmaker with no additional instructions. The left center mid is an advanced playmaker with no additional instructions. The right attacking mid is a shadow striker on attack with stay wider and tackle harder as additional instructions. The advanced forward up top has tackle harder. And the left striker is the target forward on pass it shorter and hold position. So, the team has a positive mentality. The in possession is fairly wide. The approach play is pass into space. We look to overlap left and build out of defense. Again, that's going to encourage us to give it out to this guy here, who then will spray the passes all around the pitch. We have overlap left, pass into space, slightly more direct, a basic tempo, mixed crosses, no additional instructions on the rest of this. In transition, we counter press, we counter, we distribute quickly, give to the center backs, and roll it out. If you are finding you're giving it to the wide center backs too much, you can go to click this little drop down here, you distribute to position, and select the middle center back to make sure that you always get that proper distribution. But I have it to distribute to any of these just in case the opposition is pressing, and you want to get it to one of them, just so to help you with not getting too much trouble with a press. It gives you 3 options, which can be easier to get out of in that scenario. Helps you deal with the 2 very easily, and 3s, because these guys can help occupy them. So just something to think about, and you can adjust in-game. And then out of possession, we have a higher defensive line, a high press, much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and get stuck in. That is the basic version of wide diamonds. Now to jump over to the direct style of play. This is the direct version. So you see Villarreal scored 103 goals, the best in the division, had the 9th best defense. Moreno got 26 goals, Pino had 18 assists. Pino played at the midfield right role to get all his assists, so that was the advanced playmaking role. Moreno played probably up top. Yeah, he played up top a lot. He probably swapped between the two. I'm assuming Sorloth probably played more as a target forward, though. 23 goals, 10 assists. If we look at the form, yeah, target forward, meaning Moreno probably played more at the advanced forward role. Yes, he did. 1 or 2 swaps between them. But yes, that is the version of this. They finished quarterfinal of the Copa del Rey and were knocked out playoff round by Lazio. So you can see they did really, really well. Finished not too far off the second place in Real Madrid. 87 points for Villarreal, very far clear of fourth, but just a really, really good one for them. So the tactic is slightly different this time around. This is the direct style. So things are, there's going to be some slight differences. I'm going to go through all of them because I know there are a few little changes here and there. So the super keeper on support has tackle harder. The right center back of wide center back has shoot less often and tackle harder. The middle center back on ball playing defender on defend has nothing. The left center back libero on defend has dribble more, stay wider, and tackle harder. The balling midfielder on defend, which is your right defensive mid, is pass it shorter. Your left wing back is stay wider, ease off tackles, and mark tighter. Your right mid is ease off tackles and mark tighter. Your left center mid is an advanced playmaker on an attack with no additional instructions. Your shadow striker at right attacking mid is stay wider and tackle harder. Your advanced forward in the center up top is tackle harder, and your target forward remains pass it shorter and hold position on the left striker position. The instructions here are fairly wide width, pass it shorter, overlap left, play out of defense, and slightly more direct. So that's just kind of all these things here. Again, the same for this. So that's roll it out, distribute to center back, distribute quickly, counter and counter press, out of possession, high press, standard line of engagement, much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and get stuck in. So just some slight little tweaks there, but it makes a big difference. Helps the team out a little more defensively, and they end up scoring more goals. That's kind of what works well for this one. You can see the big effect that it had. In terms of results, I don't think there was anything too particular. Mallorca 6-1's a big one. Las Palmas 5-0. Celta Vigo 5-2 beat Real Madrid 3-1. Trying to see if there's 5-4 of Alaves. That's a crazy game. 7-4 against Eibar. I don't think 5-0. That's a weak team. 6-1 they beat Valencia. 5-1 beat Granada. 4-1 Alaves. 5-4 against Molde. Some crazy games, to say the least, for these guys. But yeah, so that's kind of that version. Not too terribly different, but just a few little slight tweaks, and it makes a big difference for teams. Now, onto the final version, which we tested with Genk. Alright guys, the final test was with Genk, who smashed it, winning the Belgian top flight. They had the best goals scored, the 7th best in terms of goals allowed. They shared the top goal scorer, and El Canous finished with 15 assists from the shadow striker position, which is interesting. Our top goal scorers were our striker, and the possibly someone who played shadow striker as well. I believe he probably played advanced forward. Let's take a look and see. He did. I'm assuming Tolu played the main role of other one. What did Sakiri play? Striker, yeah. Some target forward as well. We did have Big Tolu. I don't know how much he played. Let's see. 9 goals, 4 assists, but he did play quite well. So he played very well for them there. But again, this is the team that did it. They were the winners of the Super Cup, so they won the double. Then they got knocked out in the group stages and lost in the semi-finals of the Cup. Nearly a domestic treble for these guys, but did quite well in each, which is very, very good to see. So you're always going to be happy with that. They won the division there. If we do look here, because this one is slightly different. The last one is very similar. Let's take a look at some of these passing networks. Again, you can see much more of this. 98. So Tolu not exactly doing it, but you got a diamond created with those guys. You have your one right here, which you can see is nice and lovely in that spot there, which is always nice to see. Big win against Anderlecht too. Royal Antwerp at here. You can see there's one there, and there again is one. They're not perfect, but when I watched the games, they came out a lot nicer. Like playing in some of them, they definitely looked a lot better. So you can see one right there. You can see that one right there as well. So you can see them a lot more in some of these in terms of the triangles getting a lot better. Genk did it quite nicely. And we'll take a look at the one against Anderlecht again. We have that one there. That one kind of there, not as good as others. But you can see that they're there. They do get created, and they do work in those ways. So time to look at the tactic now. This one, the same exact positions, everything. The positions don't change. They're just slightly different things. So this is the hyper-aggressive version. The Superkeeper on Sport is on Take More Risks. Nothing additional. The wide center back on the right is shoot less often, close down more, tackle harder. The center back in the middle ball playing defender is tackle harder. The Libero on the left, dribble more, stay wider, close down more, tackle harder. Ball winning midfielder on defend, pass it shorter still. Wingback attack on the left is stay wider, close down more, ease off tackles, mark tighter. Your wide playmaker on the right, close down more, ease off tackles, mark tighter. Your advanced playmaker in the middle, tackle harder. Shadow striker on the right is stay wider, close down more, and tackle harder. Target forward on support on the left is pass it shorter, hold position, close down more, and tackle harder. And your advanced forward up top is tackle harder. Finally, the in possession stats are fairly narrow. Overlap on the left, play out of defense, pass it shorter and higher tempo. Positive mentality, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, distribute ball to the back, distribute ball to center backs, and roll it out. So keeping that the same. And then this one is slightly different as well. High press line of engagement, much higher line of defense, much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, and step up more. So, slight changes here and there, but different results for each. Things did quite well on each of them. And that's kind of what we got. So, I mean, I'm quite happy with the slight adjustments and changes. I wouldn't say it's a perfect tactic, but it's a fun one to try out and work with. I think if you got players that fit the roles really, really well, you could have a bit of a change here and there. But, you know, it's a fun one. It's interesting, and I think there's a lot to be looked at for it. Probably need some adjustments here and there. And I've had stuff going on, so it's not as perfect. But very fun tactic, very cool to use this one, so I hope you guys do enjoy it. If you have more fun tactic ideas, please let me know. I mean, you're going to get stuck on a list of a lot of ideas. I think we got like 15 already, so there's a lot ahead of you, but feel free to keep suggesting them. There is so many days in the year, and I'll keep doing them. And if we run out, I do apologize, but I think there's still a lot of time left before we get to FM25. So keep the requests coming, and I'll keep the ideas and tactics rolling. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. It's time to roll the outro. So everyone, that is the tactic for you guys. As I did say, it is definitely going to be a good one for you. It's not the most perfect tactic, but it's slightly different from what probably other people are used to. It's a very interesting one. I quite like the way it's built and the ideas of it. So it's it's a fun one. It probably still needs some work here and there, but you know, I'm quite happy with the quick results I got and the quick turnaround of it. And with things going on, it was much easier to record a kind of a quick tactic video for you guys. But we'll be back to normalcy come Sunday. We have Thiago Motta tactic lined up. I've been eager to do him since I'm a Milan fan, and some big changes look like they're going to be coming to the team. But maybe not with Pioli winning some games now, so we'll see what happens with that. But Motta has been talked about, and I wanted to do one in case he was hired, just because I felt it would be a good one. And also, that Bologna team's been amazing, and I think it's going to be a nice one to talk about and look at. We have so many more coming as well. I know Girona has been mentioned, Leverkusen, and things like that, so they're all coming. And Rangers was recently asked, as well as a United one for Selhurst Ferguson. So tons and tons of tactics coming in, requests. I'm going to try to do my best to get to all of them. I know I have my massive list, but yeah. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. If you did enjoy, remember to like and subscribe. If you guys also want to check out Gerb, who might be using this tactic in one of his saves or things like that, be sure to check out his links in the description below. I'll have his Twitter and Twitch linked for you guys to check out, and it's Gerbtheking. He's a fantastic, brilliant lad, and I really do suggest you guys give him a follow and just check out some of his stuff. And once again, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. I'll be sure to catch you guys in the next tactic video.